Have you ever wondered what would actually happen if you stayed off social media for 24 hours? You might be thinking, it's just one day. What's the big deal? But when I started this challenge, I realized something that genuinely made me shiver. I wasn't in control of my own habits. The moment I woke up, my hand instinctively reached for my phone. Not to call anyone. Not for anything urgent. Just to scroll. To see who posted what. To check for updates. To compare, maybe unconsciously, whether someone else was living better than me. And then, the silence hit. No pings. No new messages. No sudden hits of dopamine from random likes and comments. And in that silence, I realized something deeper. Social media wasn't just stealing my time. It was stealing my presence. In today's video, I want to share with you what happened during those 24 hours of total disconnection. And why just one day offline might help you see yourself more clearly than ever before. White right pointing back hand index if you've ever felt like your phone was consuming more of you than you realized. Watch this video until the end. I have a simple challenge for you waiting there. And if this message resonates with you, white heavy check mark, give this video a like. White heavy check mark, subscribe to Everyday Momentum. White heavy check mark and comment below. Speech balloon, this is how I've been pulled into social media. Part 1, the hidden addiction you don't see. I used to think I was in control of my time. I set goals. I used task management apps. I believed I was self-aware enough not to get sucked into something pointless like social media. Until one day, I decided to try something simple. No social media for 24 hours. It sounded easy, almost trivial. But just a few hours in, I realized this wasn't a challenge. It was an unveiling of something much deeper within myself. 7 a.m. my phone and the reflex I couldn't explain. As soon as I opened my eyes, my hand reached for my phone. No thought. No reason. Just reflex. I unlocked the screen, and then paused. No social media today, I reminded myself. I put the phone down. A few seconds later, I picked it up again. As if my hands and brain no longer belonged to me. I started to feel like something was missing. A strange emptiness. No notifications. No news stories. No dopamine from a random like. And in that moment, I realized I wasn't the one in control anymore. The morning, I lived in the in-between moments. While making coffee, I waited, without anything to do. Usually, I'd scroll for fun, just for a few minutes. Instead, I stood there, staring at the wall. Time stretched out. No distractions. Just me and the sound of dripping water. During breakfast, I didn't turn on YouTube like I always do. I tried to eat slowly, but felt restless. I couldn't even remember the last time I had a meal without watching something. That's when I realized. Social media didn't just steal work time. It was consuming my quiet moments that were supposed to be mine. Midday, the discomfort set in. By noon, a strange feeling kicked in. I kept picking up my phone, unlocking it, then locking it again. Unlock, then lock. I wasn't looking for anything in particular. I was looking for a fake sense of busyness to fill the growing void inside. That's when it hit me. Social media wasn't a convenience anymore. It had become a psychological crutch, something I turned to when I didn't know how to sit with myself. We often think we choose to open social media. But in reality, many times we're escaping something, a moment, a thought, a feeling. A truth that startled me. I checked my phone stats. The previous week, I picked up my phone more than 120 times a day. And my daily average on social media? Nearly 4 hours. For hours. Not to learn. Not to build meaningful connections. But to scroll through things that made me forget who I was. End of part 1, and a question for you. I used to think I was in control of my time. But the truth? I was just busy, not truly alive. And if you've ever felt the same way, white right pointing backhand index, keep watching, because what happened next changed everything. Part 2. When time is given back. By early afternoon, I started to notice something strange. I looked at the clock, it was just past 1 p.m., and I had already finished most of my tasks for the day. No interruptions. No broken trains of thought. Just focus, and done. I realized something powerful: I was getting time back. Normally, every few minutes of work would be broken by picking up my phone. Just a quick check. But that quick check always stretched into 15 minutes. 30 minutes, even an hour, disappearing without me noticing. But today, with no social media, I had no excuse to take unconscious breaks. I finished earlier. And then? I had time. But then a question popped up. What do I do now? I wandered around the house. No background noise from Reels, no funny voiceovers from TikTok. Just silence. I pulled out an old book, one that had gathered dust for over 3 months. I made a cup of tea, not to snap a photo for my story, but to actually drink and savor it. I sat by the window, looking at the trees. For the first time in months, I wasn't trying to make use of time. I was simply living inside it. Time didn't magically multiply. I just reclaimed what had slowly been stolen. That's when it hit me. Social media doesn't kill time. It quietly steals small pieces of your day, pieces so small you barely notice. 5 minutes at a time. 30 times a day. Not enough to alarm you, but enough to slowly empty you without you realizing. And when I disconnected, those empty spaces came back. Not so I could fill them with something else, but so I could finally notice them. And realize I still have the power to choose how I live. Part 3. A quieter mind. Something strange happened when I disconnected from social media. I began to hear my own thoughts more clearly than ever. From noise to stillness. Normally, my mind is always busy. New videos. Comments. Entertaining reels. Stories from friends. A constant stream of stimulation, non-stop. But once all that noise was turned off, I began to hear my inner voice. No pings. No updates. No content dragging my attention away every few seconds. I could sit still for 10 minutes without feeling anxious. I could write a few thoughts in my notebook without checking my phone mid-sentence. The science behind a calmer mind. According to a study by Harvard University, Killingsworth and Gilbert, 2010. A wandering mind is the root of unhappiness. And here's the catch. Frequent social media use increases mind wandering. When your brain constantly processes short, scattered information, it loses the space needed to go deep. But when you cut off those micro-stimulations, like 10-second videos or rapid status updates, your mind drops into a deeper rhythm. You become more focused. Your thoughts become more coherent. And most importantly, your emotions stabilize. A simple example from my day. I was writing ideas for a personal project. Usually, I can focus for 10 to 15 minutes before I reach for my phone. But that day, I wrote for a full hour. Uninterrupted. No new tabs. No notifications. No news. No drama. And I realized. The problem wasn't that I lacked creativity. It was that I never gave my ideas enough time to surface. Your brain needs space to think deeply. And the truth is, social media steals that space, bit by bit. You don't need a full retreat to find clarity. You just need to turn off the noise that's constantly shaking your mind. And when you do, you'll likely feel pushpin less stressed, pushpin less anxious, pushpin and sometimes more connected to life in ways you didn't expect. Part 4. What I learned from 24 hours of disconnection. That evening, I sat alone in the living room. No notifications. No blue light from a screen. No updates to catch up on. No one to reply to right now. And for the first time in a long while, I felt this. White right pointing backhand index. I was living a day that I was truly in control of. I wasn't being pulled. I was choosing where to go. Social media, after all, isn't the enemy. It's a tool. But when we no longer control how we use the tool begins to control us. And I started noticing small things. Things that were quietly draining my inner strength, day by day. The subconscious comparisons, seeing others doing better. The constant feeling of I'm not enough. The inability to stay focused, even in the moments that mattered most. All of that came from picking up my phone, scrolling endlessly. And slowly forgetting who I was. I realized this. I had traded presence for connection. Instead of looking into the eyes of my loved ones, I looked into a screen. Instead of listening to how I actually felt, I got swept up in everyone else's emotions. Instead of enjoying a meal, I thought about the photo I'd post afterward. Those 24 hours offline revealed something powerful. White right pointing backhand index. I had never truly been here and now. I didn't lose a day. I gained so much more. White heavy check mark. I regained my focus. White heavy check mark. I reclaimed a sense of peace when I no longer felt pressured to stay updated. White heavy check mark. I slept better without scrolling TikTok until 1 a.m. But more than anything, I found myself again. Not shaped by trends. Not driven by algorithms. Not defined by likes. Just me, living one slow, intentional day. And in that stillness, I saw myself more clearly than ever before. Will I quit social media entirely? No. I still use it, but differently now. I use it with intention, not by reflex. I set daily time limits. I don't bring my phone to bed. I give myself at least one screen-free hour a day, just to let my mind breathe. Because I've learned. Push-pin freedom doesn't come from giving everything up. It comes from learning how to stay in control when something could easily control you. And here's my quiet reminder to you. You don't need to disappear from the digital world. You just need to learn how to return to the real one. Even one day offline, just 24 hours, might be enough to realize how many beautiful, small, real moments you've been missing. And if you've been feeling tired, overwhelmed, or lost, maybe you don't need a huge change. White right pointing backhand index. Maybe you just need to unplug for a little while. So you can reconnect with yourself. One day to truly live. You don't have to quit social media forever. You don't need to disconnect from the world. You just need to pause for one day. One day without scrolling. Without updates. Without needing to know what everyone else is doing. One day to look inward. To ask, how am I really living? Do I still remember what makes me happy, peaceful, confident? When you disconnect from the noise, you reconnect with real life. You hear your own thoughts more clearly. You're more present with those around you. You reclaim your time instead of drifting through it on autopilot. And maybe, like I did, you'll realize something. Life isn't boring. It's just been buried under too much noise. Speech balloon. Try one day without social media. Not to test yourself. Not as a challenge. But simply to remember that you can live deeply, truly, and fully. White right pointing backhand index. Leave a comment below. I'm ready to try 24 hours without social media. Or share your experience if you've already done it. Bell. And if this video resonated with you, like it, subscribe to Everyday Momentum, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another soulful journey of growth. Because sometimes, a small step forward is the beginning of a stronger, clearer, more grounded version of you.